in the paper, and it said that the Negro League had earned more than $4.5 billion on the word of the Negro League. I mean, guys and vendors had earned at least over $4 million.
So at the events of you all's games, like the vendors and the popcorn and hot dogs?
Well, no, what happened is that sports writers and all of the people who connected with the game, all the movies you see that's coming out, the memorabilia, the jackets, the shirts, and all that stuff that they put out, they earned, I mean, an enormous amount of money, not only in this country, but in Japan, Korea. They were selling jackets, selling Negro League stuff all over the world.
And if we can just juxtapose that, and that's compared to what were the players actually making?
Nothing. And they got nothing from that. They made nothing when they was playing, and they got nothing from that $4.4 billion that they earned. Okay. Now, what happened is that in 1960, the Negro League ended, and nobody thought that the Negro League was going to mean anything. Okay, so nobody had an opportunity, or nobody thought to preserve the name Negro League. Okay, so that it wouldn't. And since nobody did preserve it, it went out to the general public.
Okay.
In other words,
for merchandisers.
For merchandisers. For anybody who wanted to use the word Negro League and sell something, they could because there was no restriction whatsoever on Negro League. So, and after all these years, and we have guys. Who, and you must remember now, these old guys back in 1920 who started the Negro League, they didn't make any money then, and so there were no pensions, there were no source of income for those guys. So as they got older, in 1947, when Jackie Robinson broke the color line, those guys were too old to be transferred to the other major leagues. Mm-hmm. So they just had to play it out and just live their life with nothing as it is. Yesterday, with the Baseball Foundation, we decided in 1996, after that article, New York Times, that we would put yesterdays in front of the word Negro League and try to tell the general public that if it doesn't say yesterday's Negro League Baseball Foundation, it is not the Negro League baseball players.
It's not authentic.
Right. And today, there's only 110 of us still living who played in the Negro League, and they're going fast. But those are, some of the guys are very old, and they still have nothing. So the reason why that we sell memorabilia and I sign autographs and a lot of the other players is to help those guys out. We buy wheelchairs and we pay electric bills on some of them, the guys who just couldn't help themselves. But the most disappointing part about all that is that we have some African Americans who play baseball today and who make very large checks, but they don't seem to be sensitive at all to those guys who played the game a long time ago.
To the shoulders that they're now standing on.
That's right. Now, the Congress honored us in Washington a couple of years ago, and they had all the ball players there, and we were supposed to be national treasures. Okay, at this point, Willie Mays is the first Major League Baseball player who have publicly, let out his heart and told the story of him and his baseball. Willie Mays, as he looked over the crowd of us, there was at that time, a couple years ago, there was about 150 of us. As he looked across the room, and he said that these old men taught me how to play the game. Okay? And he cried. It's the first time that somebody really poured their heart out and just thanked them for doing what they done. And even then, the congressmen who set up this honor, this is so-called they gave us, they still gave them no money. Not a penny. And some of the guys, some of the old guys, had to come from Florida and places on a bus. National treasures? Give me a break. All right. But that's what happens. That's what's
this country has a lot to apologize for.
Yes, right. But we don't stop there. We keep on selling memorabilia. We keep on doing it. And as long as 110 of us still live in, we're going to still do what we can to help those guys who played with us and before us.
And we appreciate your heart so much. we want to make sure that everybody in our viewing audiences will be able to contribute to the work that you're doing. We'll also put it on the screen, but would you like to give our audience the address, the name, and everything, so that if they want to send contributions or order memorabilia, they'll be able to do so?
Okay. For this year, for the last 2 years, the national office has been at 1350 Fifth Avenue. That is the national office for yesterday's Negro League Baseball Foundation. We have some memorabilia there, and we can also accept whatever from there. We do all we do for those guys that we haven't been able to do that. But Dennis Biddle, I must say too, Dennis Biddle is the president of yesterday Negro League Baseball. He's out of Milwaukee, Wisconsin. And I am vice president and CEO of that organization. But you can send those funds to 1350 Fifth Avenue in care of the yesterday Negro League Baseball Foundation.
And that is in Youngstown, Ohio, 44504.
Sure.